All right, YouTube, I'm back for more daily D&T action. I will be keeping this opening hand. If you haven't noticed, most hands with Thalia, you keep them. Thalia is a good Magic the Gathering card. So good that I'm fine having two. Because this one's probably going to get countered or otherwise removed somehow. Spell Snare. Okay. This is the second time I've gotten Spell Snared this league. We'll run it back. Probably get Swords to Plowshare this time. Called it. White Source was pretty ideal there. Brimaz versus Flicker Wisp is close. Flicker Wisp means I could flicker my port and then get a port activation in. But I kind of like waiting to see if I'm going to need to do something else with this Wisp. Like, I'd love to keep this around until I, say, get a Recruiter of the Guard. The downside of just playing out Brimaz is it's super weak to just, like, land Jace bounce. That is a tilting top deck, and would have very much rewarded playing it in the other order. The first accumulated knowledge is pretty bad. The second one is solid. Any accumulated knowledges after that are devastating. I'm just going for it here. Force of Negation. Jace unsummon the Flicker Wisp is pretty strong. I draw a land, I can double Wisp. Did draw land. That's cool. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Flicker Wisp. I guess we'll flicker. Can I hit cancel so I can hold priority? Yeah, okay. So on a hold priority, do this, target my wasteland, tap the wasteland for a mana in response. So now we'll do an age-old classic trick of Flicker Wisp my other Flicker Wisp. I'm going to Flicker Wisp out the Jace so they don't get another activation out of it. Return the Wasteland, blow up Volcanic Island, and pray that Blind Terminus doesn't ruin me for this line. Did not get ruined. Am happy. And both of these are going at Jace. Absolutely no chances being taken here. And this is the point where I'm not comfortable playing out another threat onto the board. Opponent says that was rude. I agree fully. Honestly, I kind of want to port their fetch land. No, that's too cute. I'm just going to port a white source. That way they need land in order to hardcast a Terminus. But there's real merit to going after the fetch land here to try to get them to crack it to make a cantrip worse. Alright, feeling good. If my opponent can sweep the board, I am a little action light for after. Alright, am I wastelanding this fetch right here? Kind of want to do that. Puts them to 2 specifically, which means a Revoker hit is lethal for if they sweep the board, and makes any main phase cantrip much worse. That seems like dead. You return a Flicker Wisp, and the other one hits you in the air. Good game. We get a pile of cards for this matchup. Needle, Sword of Truth and Justice, Chalice of the Void, Council Judgment, and Cataclysm. I can also consider Rest in Peace, since they are an AK build, but I think I'm so heavy for this matchup that I probably won't want to do that. We'll kind of see what in-out numbers look like and make the decision from there. Mom and Source of Plowshares are going to come out. Jitte is going to come out. I usually trim a Wasteland So if I don't board Rest in Peace, that right there is perfect. I don't think you're supposed to board Rest in Peace, but Daryl Ayers has been telling me that he's been doing it against the AK builds and quite likes it. But like, what comes out if I do that? Not Stoneforge, not Thalia. Avenger could. I guess the Batterskull's kind of medium. I could board out this and play a heavier prison strategy that focuses on invalidating most of my opponent's cards, and that wins the game with whatever. I'm curious enough to try. I'm going to be less good at pressuring my opponent, but better at trying to lock them out. We'll see where that puts us at the end of the day. Keep. We have a Vial hand that's action heavy. We really need the Vial to resolve, but assuming it does, this hand is very good. My opponent does have Force of Negations, so that's something I should keep in mind too in keeping one land Vial hands. Land. So I think I'm just going to play Rest in Peace here. Like, let's just get this in play. I can take the Vial up next turn to put Revoker in. And, like, then give myself something to put in next turn. Ah, an accumulated knowledge, you say. Send it to exile. So AKs and Snapcasters looking pretty bad right now. I have a Needle and a Revoker for Planeswalkers that might come down, as well as a Council's Judgment for any other problematic permanents. I think I'm okay just like playing a Flicker Wisp onto the board. I still have a future Flicker Wisp for protection. But doing this means I can potentially crash in for 5 power next turn. It's especially good considering that like one of my opponent's probably best lines of play involves tapping out or low for a Planeswalker this turn. Mentor is a thing. I've got a Council's Judgment for that. Source of Plowshare is my Wisp in response, I assume. Yeah, that's fine. They were playing around Thalia being put in case that wasn't clear. We'll name a Jace with that. All right. So we get to Council's Judgment away the Mentor. Do I go aggro and flicker wisp out this token so I can attack in for 2? I think I do. And I don't think I just, like, ram the needle out on Teferi or something, or Narset or anything like that. No Terminus is good. If I trade Snapcaster for Revoker, I can just Needle Jace afterwards. Don't think I want to play that land. Still no Terminus. Life's good. EE for 2 is good. It gets Revoker and Rest in Peace, turns the graveyard back on. Nice. Nice. Oh wow, opponent was willing to take that hit there. I can cast Pithing Needle, forcing them to crack EE. Then Flicker Wisp one of the things that they're going to crack. When Needle resolves, I can name like Jace, and then I can make Revoker come back and name like Narset or Teferi. Alternatively, I can just let them crack it end of turn, and then Flicker Wisp my Revoker and just save the Needle for later. But I think going all in here is fine. So this gets to Rest in Peace. Needle resolves. Needle names Jace. Revoker comes back. An opponent needs to have Terminus this turn. Needs. I'm also going to double check the names of the Teferis because I'm not 100%. I think it's Hero of Dominaria. But no, it's Time Rattler. Hero of Dominaria is the 5-mana one. Yeah. Alright, well, I guess I had to have it sooner or later. wrong one on the pithing needle, apparently. Okay. I was going to say, that's an aggressive force, but pitching a spell snare is acceptable at this stage of the game, I guess. Oh, no, a Mentor on empty board. The instant speed ponders are real weird. So I do have my opponent dead in 2 shots with Flicker Wisp. So I've got that going for me. Bad news is kind of everything else that's going on with this situation. Yeah, that's very bad. So I'm going to play that out. I'm willing to show that to my opponent. Because if I get a creature equipped with it, life's very good for me. And this is a -3 to bounce it, right? Nature's Chant. Well, there goes my math of, like, Teferi remove on a future turn. That can just happen now. Alright, that's not bad. So we'll go Stoneforge. My batter's calling the sideboard. Yeah. So I equip this here, but I think I'm just going to be dead to board. And my opponent just goes any spell plus Teferi bounce this sword. And I'm done. Yeah, so that just bounces Stoneforge Mystic and I'm dead. Alright, do I want to try the whole Rest in Peace thing again, given what I saw that match? I'll run it back. opponent seems to have a tough mulligan decision over there. Alright, Vile resolved. That's awesome. I do know that my opponent has Nature's Chant now, so I need to keep that in mind. Hoping to spike a land here. That's not a land, but it is very good. Crap, it's getting disenchanted now. So I think they also have Swords to Plowshares in hand, based on that play pattern. Okay, so they have Disenchant and Nature's Chant. Uh-oh. What'll that Ponder do? Just shuffle with the Ponder. Land. Yes. Okay, we're playing Magic. So based on my read that they have Swords to Plowshares in hand, I actually want to rest in peace rather than play out one of my creatures this turn. Alright, my opponent values the graveyard hard enough that this rest in peace has been answered both games. Alright. So again, knowing that my opponent very likely has Swords to Plowshares, let's run a Thalia that I have a redundant copy of into it. Nope, just snare me. So I think this is going to be a game where I'm going to end up falling way behind, and Cataclysm is going to have to dig me out. My opponent can have Force of Will and Force of Negation to answer, though. I kind of think you let the Vial tick up for a turn before bouncing it, but I don't know their hand. Like, if I had a Mom, I would have just played a Mom out. No point in throwing the Vial out this turn in the face of EE. I'd rather play something that pressures the Planeswalkers and requires a response of some nature. Now I'm just looking for lands to get to Cataclysm. The first land is the best land here, because it means that I can play a 2-drop plus Vial the same turn. Snapcaster Spell Snare. Nope. Yes. I have so many cards that I think I just want the sword that gives me protection from both relevant colors here. I'll play the Vial, my opponent will pay 2 mana and sweep it off the field. Maybe not now, but at some point. Taking the trade now is probably fine in terms of pure mana efficiency. It's a miracle. So One thing I don't like about how I sideboard is that I only have 2 pieces of equipment in the deck. Mentor is terrifying on an empty board. Can I successfully Cataclysm? Do I have any choice but to try? That might be the better question. Because anything that I play out here can just be like Teferi or Jace bounce, and my opponent gets to crash in. So let's swing for the fences. Them keeping Mentor plus Island is probably good enough to beat me, though, if this even resolves. Ah, yes, the instant speed ponder. Alright. I get a Plains. You get Mentor Island. Again, this is probably good enough to aggro me out with some number of cantrips. The issue with cataclysming where I did was that, like, I can't just rip one land and be in the game. I need to rip multiple lands. Okay, there's one. There's one. My opponent still doesn't have bonus lands, so that is good for me. If I rip another land right here, I might be in it. That is not a land. It's an acceptable draw, though. Okay, I probably can't beat that, because my opponent just, like, cantrips again. I get hit for so much that even if I clean up the Mentor, I'm probably just dead, right? Yeah, so I'm taking 10 this turn, going to 4, and then even if I clean up the Mentor, there's 4 monks left over. Alright, I tried. Got close. Rats. Alright, ended up with an unimpressive 3-2 that league, but that's fine. I still feel like the deck list is really good. Not 100% sure about whether or not these are really good enough for the Miracles matchup. In the past, my answer was no. I still kind of think the answer is no, but I'd be willing to, bumble around with the strategy for a few more matches and see if I like that. All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you again soon.